Hello and welcome to yet another chapter in biology, cell structure and function, grade 8. So, this is a very interesting chapter and very important one because bio is the study of life and life cannot start without a cell. So, cell is the basic unit of life. Without cell, there can be no life. So, like I said, that there can be no life without a cell. It is important to note that when the cell will do functions at its own level, at the level of the cell, that it is respiring or it is digesting, breathe, and doing a lot of work, then only we end up doing work. We call it the structural unit because it helps in making the structure. So cell is the basic structural unit. Just as you need to form a structure, you need something to start it with. So you need a brick to start a wall. And in the similar fashion, to have a living organism, we need to have a cell. So the cell joins to form a tissue. Tissue will join to form an organ. The organ joins to form an organ system, then whole organisms. Now you will be surprised to know that the eggs are visible to naked eye are that of an ostrich, of a bird, or any animal. So the egg that is laid by any living organism is a cell, and eggs laid by animals like birds or even a lizard, they all represent a cell. Now the cell was discovered by Robert Hooke, and he observed the bark of a tree under a very simple microscope, and they all looked like tiny boxes, and he coined the term cell. So remember that Robert Hooke discovered cell. He was the first person. Now cell number. Depending upon the number of cells are of two types, or organisms of two types. One cell, unicellular, and if it is more than one cell, then we name it multicellular. Unicellular, one cell, and multicellular, many cells. So example of unicellular would be amoeba, bacteria, and multicellular is like us and the plants. Now you can also see that there is paramecium, there is amoeba, there is euglena. So all these organisms are single cell. And you might be surprised that how come a single cell organism live, but do not be surprised because every single cell organism is capable of carrying out basic life functions, breathing, digesting, excreting, moving, all these functions, even multiplying. So when we look at cells, cells come in different shape and sizes. The shape and the size of the cell will depend upon the function that it performs. For example, if you look at a nerve cell, it is long and branched. If you look at a red blood cells, it is round because both the functions are very different. So here you have red blood cell, round in shape, muscle cell which is spindle shaped, and nerve cell which is branched. So RBC is down because it increases the surface area, allows it to carry a lot of oxygen. Muscle cell is spindle shaped because it allows it to contract and relax. Nerve cell is long and broad so that it can transfer messages over long distances. So these are the three types of cell, and there will be many more in your body which you will study about later. So when we talk about cells, always remember, why do cells have different shape? Because they have to perform different functions. And why do they come out of different sizes? Again, depending upon the function. So amoeba is very tiny, but when you look at yourself, you're really huge. Okay. Now look at the size. So Mycoplasma, it's a kind of bacteria which is the smallest known cell, very tiny. And the largest cell that anybody knows about is the ostrich egg. It is visible to naked eye. Of course, even a chicken egg is visible. But when you look at an ostrich egg, it is the biggest cell that one can see. So I hope this makes the introduction very clear, and we will proceed in part 2 for rest of it.